Welcome, deep divers. Today, we're diving headfirst into something really profound. It's a piece of wisdom from Psalm 85, and, well, it's framed as a devotional reflection, our mission. To unpack this idea of steadfast love and maybe figure out why it could be, the antidote to that constant pressure we feel, that pressure to always be proving ourselves. You know that feeling, right?
Absolutely. And what's really interesting here is how this material, it's actually set for a July 1st reflection, but it takes this ancient psalm and uses it to shine a light on something super relevant now, this difference between grace and performance. It really makes us think about salvation, that maybe it's not earned, maybe it's just given.
Okay, yeah, let's get into that. So the reflection starts simply, just pause, breathe, remember God's faithful love, but then bam, right into Psalm 85. Why this psalm? What's the big picture it paints, especially historically?
Well, Psalm 85 acts like this amazing historical mirror. It looks back at God's mercy in the past, specifically how he restored Jacob's fortunes. Verses 1 to 3 are pretty key here. They listed out, the Lord was favorable, restored fortunes, forgave iniquity, covered sin, withdrew wrath, turned from anger. So it's a prayer, asking for revival again. But crucially, it's grounded in God's steadfast love, not in anything the people did.
Right. Steadfast love. It feels like the absolute core, especially in that key verse, Psalm 85.7. Show us your steadfast love, O Lord, and grant us your salvation. It all comes back to that love. Okay, now here's where it gets really countercultural for us. The source we're looking at points up that comment saying, work hard, get what you deserve. We all know it. But then it says Psalm 85 just completely flips that idea on its head. How is that?
It's a total shift, isn't it?
Yeah.
The reflection puts it very plainly. Salvation isn't earned. It's a gift. See, the psalmist isn't saying, hey, God, look how good we've been now, so please forgive us. No, they're remembering God's past forgiveness, his past restoration. And they ask again, why? Not because Israel suddenly deserves it, but simply because God is faithful. His nature is steadfast love. And this is the critical point. God's love, the source, uses the Hebrew word hesed, which is so rich, like loyal, covenant love, steadfast mercy, that loves the foundation. It's not our performance and not our efforts, not how worthy we think we are.
Wow. That's huge, because so many of us, myself included, operate on that earn it principle. It's almost automatic. So with this this steadfast love is the real base. What does that actually mean for all our striving? It feels almost upside down compared to the world.
It is upside down. And that's the revolutionary part. This isn't just, abstract theology. It changes everything about motivation. Just think about it for a second. If your value, your acceptance isn't tied to your output, your success list, how good you manage to be today, what does that free you up to do? To be. It's like getting permission to be imperfect, to fail sometimes, and still be fundamentally okay, still loved.
Yeah.
It really pushes us to rethink what achievement even means. Maybe it's less about earning and more about receiving.
Receiving. And that leads to this incredible image the source highlights, this picture of what happens when heaven and earth connect. Can you describe that image from verse 10? It sounds amazing.
Yeah, it raises the question, okay, if this love is real, what does it look like? What happens? And so Long 5.10 gives this just stunning picture. Love and faithfulness meet, righteousness and peace kiss each other. It's more than just pretty words. The source describes it as the actual point where heaven touches earth, where these perfect divine qualities come together and create something entirely new.
Righteousness and peace kiss. And the psalm keeps going with that imagery, right? In the next few verses. Faithfulness springing up from the ground, righteousness looking down, the Lord giving good things, the land producing, righteousness going ahead to prepare the way. It sounds like this picture of organic flourishing, not forced, just happening because of that divine connection, a real wholeness. Okay, so we've unpacked the history, the core idea, this amazing imagery. But what does this mean for you listening right now today? How do we take this from theory to, reality? The source asks some pretty direct questions, doesn't it?
It really does. It gets personal. It asks you to consider, are you, maybe without even realizing it, trying to earn the very thing God has already given you freely, his love, his acceptance? What would it actually look like, feel like, for you to just to rest in his steadfast love today instead of hustling for it? And maybe the toughest one, where specifically do you need to stop striving? Where do you need to start trusting? The core message, the really liberating part, it's simple. You don't have to hustle for God's approval, his love. It's already yours, period.
It really is about that shift, isn't it? Moving away from the pressure cooker of performance and learning to live by this completely different principle, grace. It's a whole new operating system.
Wow, what an incredibly insightful deep dive into Psalm 85. This idea that grace, not our striving, is the foundation.
Yeah.
It's profound. It really does offer such a fresh and, frankly, freeing way to look at our daily lives.
It truly does. And maybe connecting it all, here's something to really chew on. If salvation, if acceptance, if God's steadfast love that he said is truly given freely, not earned, what kind of radical shift could happen in your interactions, yeah, but also just in how you see yourself, your own worth? What could change if you really truly embraced living by grace instead of that relentless, exhausting pressure to perform and prove yourself all the time?